Let me certainly, first of all, say how glad I am to be here, proud to be here. And I can see by the symbols on these hats, the jackets, and the paraphernalia that people wearing that these are working people. And it's always a great honor to be around men and women who are not simply workers, but who struggle on behalf of themselves and other workers. That means that often what happens, they're part of a union. They belong to a union. And since I'd come out of a union family, my parents, postal workers and union organizers, I'm very proud to be here with you. But what makes this even more special is the fact that I'm here with a group of young students. And sometimes young students who become infatuated with the idea of going to college, some of them coming from working class families, become infatuated with going to college, they lose sight of some of the more important things in life. But not these students from Tougaloo, Jackson, Mississippi. What they've decided to do was to initiate, and I'm saying in their sense, initiating means that you take a leadership role, initiating a relationship with the workers at Nissan in Camp, Mississippi. And in doing something else happens to them. They'll reveal something in themselves. They're not simply working with the workers, they're working on themselves as well. They're redefining themselves and redefining the relationship that they want to have with the world. They're working with the workers and working on behalf of the workers. As they decided to allow me, they said they allow me, I'm invited guest to be on this campus tour, this Black College, historically Black College campus tour. And I'm proud to be a part of that. In some sense, it gives me a chance and opportunity to think about my days as a student, as a young man coming of age in San Francisco at San Francisco State College. And I remember the first thing that we decided that we want to do is that we decided to begin to work and use the university as a platform to work in the community, to talk about the issues of the community, whether the issues with education, whether issues with job development, whether issues with redevelopment, to talk about those issues and to find out where those community people were as they addressed those issues. And so it was a valuable lesson for me. And even though most people think that all my life has been as an actor, I spent 6.5 years in community development, working in the Office of Community Development in San Francisco. So that time that I spent on college, working in the community, and the time I spent in the Office of Community Development, they all merged. But the campus work prepared me to work in the community and work on behalf of the community. And in these young people who have now taken on this extraordinary position of working with and working on behalf of union workers, workers who want to form a union at Nissan, it's a major, huge step. And we, those of us who are standing right here, have been in the struggle, know that it's our responsibility to nurture them, to allow them to grow into the leaders and the potential leaders that they can become. So I am so glad to be here with you as we watch them take another step. As the workers are taking steps to redefine their life, they are also taking steps to redefine their lives as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gunn.
All right.
As workers, what can you tell the Mississippi workers in the Mississippi community on what this is like and why they should join and why they should stand up and fight?
Well, you can't be afraid. Fear is the biggest thing that will break everyone's will. That's exactly what they try to do, is break your will. You cannot be broken. If you believe in it, you have to fight for it. There is laws against them firing you for something that you believe in. Take that law and use it to your advantage. They fire you, okay, I'll own the company tomorrow. It don't matter. We can do it the easy way or we can do it the hard way. You just have to have that drive and be willing to do it. That's the whole thing. I'm a Yates associate too. I've been out there since September 6, 2010. The changes I've seen since I've been out there, I cannot imagine what people like Brian, Shorty, this man right here, what they've seen over 20 years. It just scares me that they can get away with this and people are not willing to stand up and do something about it.
They are faced with threats merely because they are talking about exercising their constitutional rights with transnational organizations who at the same time have unions in their respective countries. But they will come to these southern states, and I'm from North Carolina, they will come to these southern states and say to residents in these southern states, while we have unions in our country, you can't have unions in yours. Now there's something wrong with that picture, and it's not our television, okay?
We're tired of hearing about workers with the intimidation that they're facing, with the threats that they're facing. So we took it upon ourselves to create the Mississippi Student Justice Alliance and help these workers out and get the word out throughout the community, educating them on what's going on inside that plant. Now, my personal reasons as to why I am a part of this organization is, for one, I got family and friends that work in that place. And who wants family and friends to be mistreated? Nobody, right? So we're going to fight for these people's rights, for their voice inside the workplace.
Nissan opened its doors to a great announcement to the state that they would hire 5,000 workers full-time. They promised a lot, but what they did also do is they took a lot too. Through the process of eminent domain, they took the land of people who had cropped their land and built their homes on this land. They took it for the necessity of the state and the necessity of their business. So Nissan has a great history of taking from people. And so what is our position to do as people, as young people with voices, is to challenge anything that is wrong, to say that these are people who deserve the best. They give you their best and they deserve the best. So thank you, thank you. So what we are here to do at this point is to share the worker story with you, because what we would like for you to do is stand with us and advocate for these workers' voices.
We've got Kat Arnado and Pablo Terraza. Kat and Pablo are members of the Florida Student Justice Alliance. So can we give them a hand for being here with us?
Hi, everybody. My name is Katrina Arnado, and this is Pablo Terraza. As students from Miami, we are honored to have the opportunity to speak at this event as representatives from the Florida Student Justice Alliance. We founded the FSJ this semester after being inspired by all the amazing work that the MSJ has done. We started the FSJ as a Florida International University campus organization that's dedicated to getting students involved in the Nissan campaign, as well as to tackle other prominent social justice issues in Miami. We are building the FSJ as an alliance between like-minded organizations that all care about the basic human rights of all people, including workers. Miami has one of the highest Nissan sales rates in the country, which gives us a lot of potential power for Nissan to hear our voices. But without a proper vehicle for involvement, students wouldn't really have the opportunity to let Nissan know how we feel about this issue and for a change in the way that Nissan treats their workers. And we believe that by creating the FSJ, we have filled that void.
Thank you, guys. We believe that as young people, we have the great opportunity to facilitate change in the community of Mississippi. Not only do we have the willingness, the faith, and the passion to get this done, but more importantly, we have the ability to inspire others to join us in this struggle. Now, if you guys look back in our history, in our country, every human rights struggle has had the young people at the heart to support those struggles. Now, the message for Nissan is very simple. No one gets left behind. Because as students, we understand that when Canton, Mississippi workers do better, we all do better as a community. So the message to the workers on behalf of the message to the workers on behalf of the Student Justice Alliance is that we stand with them, because your cause is our cause. And we're not gonna end this fight until we win. Thank you.
I'm proud of my brothers and sisters here. I'm proud of the young students here at Tennessee State. I'm also proud of the young students from the Mississippi Students for Justice Alliance, because they understand that no lie lasts forever, that the lies that have been told by those who make the decisions, those lies are being uncovered by workers. They have the right to have an entity, a union, negotiate, work with them, fight for justice for them. They have the right to have that. And they're asking simply that, the right to vote squarely, fairly, to have a union.
Let me say, even though you see my picture prominent, right, in terms of being a part of this student tour, and the students asked me to be a part of the tour itself, I'm in the process of also watching them as they articulate a way in which they, 21st century students, work in bringing people and bringing students to the table. And I think that's the most important process. When King and others decided to form the Southern Christian Leadership Council, their statement was, we're not simply in the process of reversing integration. We want to change the moral compass. We want to change the moral center of this country in itself. So we took it out of just the framework of looking at just we as African Americans, knowing that African Americans represent the moral conscience of this country's history. We took it out of that context and made it much more humanistic in a different way. And it's our purpose to find the language. It's our necessity to find the language that we need to use at this moment. It's not going to be the language that I used as a student more than 40 years ago. It's not going to be the language that even some of our traditional organizations use right here, because we have to use a different language to impose the same ideals that we move forward on during this process of liberation. So on that standpoint, I'm here to facilitate in whatever way I can the dialogue. If that means Danny Glover's president is to bring people out and do whatever they're going to do, then that's what it is, in a sense, to facilitate that process, in a sense, and to listen and learn. Because this process is happening with Mississippi Students Justice Alliance, but this process is happening in various other communities around this country that I've had the opportunity to visit, whether it's the coalition between grassroots intellectuals and grassroots movements, from education to food security and community gardens to everything else, like reclaiming land in the community, building and building coalitions with institutions like labor. All of those are part of a process in our own vision to hopefully build or create that new vision and new world.